I'm questionable, I'm short, and I'm stupid. You're listening to Tumalip, the podcast. We are back. It's Tumalip, the podcast, episode number 2. And today I am doing it from the comfort of my room as quietly as I can because my father is sleeping in the other room. But that won't stop me from doing this podcast today. Last week we talked in great detail about the NHL draft and what the hell was going on with the move to Quebec. And apparently those ones have been crushed. The city of Glendale signed a 2-year extension with the Arizona Coyotes to let them remain in Arizona. But one of the great things is Quebec City and Las Vegas have applied for expansion franchises, which means if it has come to pass, then we will have 32 teams by 2019 or 2020, which is great for the NHL, I think, because it's a great thing to have for the NHL, and they need that publicity to spread it out the rest of Canada and the United States. But the big topic that's been going around the sports world lately has not only been the NBA draft, but also the CONCACAF Gold Cup, and first of all, congratulations to the women, the United States women's national team, for winning the FIFA Women's World Cup earlier this month. It's a great thing. You really showed a country how to believe, and we thank you so much for that. But first, the burning topic that's been spinning around the sports world is the CONCACAF Gold Cup. So Mexico won, and of course that made me mad yesterday because now we have to figure this in. Number one, we knew the CONCACAF was gonna pick an October date, and that's the date of the playoff, October 9th, and we knew that they would go to the Rose Bowl. Well, worse has come to worse, and they will go to Rose Bowl for the U.S.-Mexico match. That makes me mad on two fronts. Number one, Los Angeles is just filled with Mexican fans. And number two, they yell a gay racial slur. I mean, you've heard it every single World Cup. You heard it during the last Gold Cup where they started yelling that just horrendous gay slur. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up on YouTube. Mexican fans gold kick. Gold kick. And they yell a gay slur that means a male prostitute. We heard that in prominence in the semifinal versus Panama and the final versus Jamaica. But also the referees during the tournament were especially horrible on two fronts. Now, I know people are gonna probably become belligerent with me because I'm a huge United States soccer fan and I love this country for the game of soccer. But I want to say a few things. Whoever is assigning referees for United States Gold Cup and World Cup games, we need better referees. Because, frankly, they're not cutting it. I mean, we've seen after every World Cup game, I watched every single Gold Cup game, there are some really questionable calls. Not just with the fouls, and not just with the fouls, and not just with the pace of play itself, but the time constraints are becoming really ominous and really mysterious. Like, for instance, last year, I mean, in the U.S.-Ghana match, in the U.S.-Portugal match, in the U.S.-Belgium match, in the round of 16, there were some really questionable timing decisions. Because, first of all, the U.S.-Ghana match, the first half should have gone to 5 minutes of stoppage time because, there was the Josie Altidore injury took a long time, and there were a couple of other injuries, like Clint Dempsey got kicked in the nose. But the 95 minutes in that match, I mean, really? Like, is that necessary? I don't think that's necessary, eh? Because, first of all, you're dragging it out. Every fan wants to go home. We have lives to live. And you're doing our opponents a huge favor by giving them more time to score. And then I think it became blaringly apparent in the US-Portugal match, because 90 plus 5 was given, and 5 minutes later, exactly 5 minutes later, right at the death, Silvestre Varela heads in the equalizer for Portugal. That made me really upset, and it generated a lot of firestorm controversy afterwards, because one of the comments on Facebook, I'll never forget this. One of the comments said, "We'll give stoppage time 5 minutes or until Portugal scores." That just made me so angry at FIFA. That made me think this confederation, not this confederation, this presidency, the highest governing body of soccer, FIFA of all people, intentionally are giving us a crappy time device. They're literally giving our opponents time to score. I mean, if you don't, yes, international fans, hate on me, whatever you want, but I speak the truth. That's the dang truth. The U.S. is being baited into points. They're not being baited into 3 points. They're not even being baited into 1 point. They're being baited into no points at all. I mean, it's like that FIFA wants us to lose. I'm sorry, FIFA. Didn't you remember in 1930 when we made it to semifinals? And now are you just like hell-bent on not giving us any more chances? I mean, God, it's infuriating to me that, you know, that FIFA, the highest governing body of soccer, would give our opponents so much time. It became really apparent in the US-Belgium match in the round of 16. Jurgen Klinsmann was up and furious off the bench because during the second period of extra time, there were way more stoppages than 1 minute. 1 minute! One measly little minute to give us an equalizer. I mean, I watched the Germany-Algeria match. Algeria got 2 minutes to get 2 goals. It's so unfair what FIFA is doing to the smaller teams, the minnows of the world. And unfortunately, we're one of them. But at the time, we were ranked 13th in the world. I think we deserve a little bit more respect from FIFA, and I swear, if I don't see a change, I will not go to a US soccer match. Because that's what I live for. I live for the excitement, the drama, the victories in the World Cup. I really want to see the US win the World Cup, although that's very not likely within the next, 7 or 8 years or so, but it's definitely likely within the next decades. Unfortunately, the US crashed out of the Gold Cup this past weekend, losing to Jamaica. I don't know how, but they did. And then losing, complete humiliation the humiliation was complete when the United States lost in a shootout to Panama, who took 3rd place in the Gold Cup. If I may say something, I know Sunil Gulati is backing Jurgen Klinsmann, and yet he's giving him another chance. He was brought in on July 31st, 2011 to bring us a winning team. So far, what I've seen, 2012, 2013, last year even, absolutely fine with me. But this year is completely unacceptable for 2 reasons. 1, why in the hell would you send the best forward on the United States in Josie Altidore, who is big, strong, and fast, home after group stage? And then bring in a young kid, and then bring in young kids who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. It's completely infuriating to me, because it's an unfortunate thing to see that the United States has even gone this far to get to this point. Because when you look at it in hindsight, this year is an ultimate failure for the United States. Not only because they lost the Gold Cup, but they lost to so many bad opponents. I mean, beating Panama was one of them. Beating Germany, beating the Netherlands, sure, I can take that, but they were playing their B teams probably. But if you lose to Jamaica in the Gold Cup, a team that is ranked 83rd in the world and does absolutely nothing but, do some questionable things. I'm not going to say it for fear I'm going to get retribution. It's completely a failure. I mean, you lose almost twice to Panama, and you lose to Jamaica in the semifinals with some lackluster performances along the way, namely the matches versus Honduras, Haiti, and Panama in the group stage. The whole group stage was a disaster for the United States. I'll just go ahead and say it right now. Jurgen Klinsmann, I'm sorry, but he needs to go. He had his chance. I'm sorry. He had 4 years to turn us around. 4 years! And he's done absolutely nothing. I mean, yes, it's been a rebuilding process. I understood it was going to take long, but, 4 years to date, we should be in better position. We should have 2 gold cups. We should be in the Confederations Cup. But no, he instead decides to bring in these unproven, under 23-year-olds who don't know what the hell they're doing. And, they lost their star goalkeeper, Tim Howard. They lost their star forward, Landon Donovan, to retirement. They're probably going to lose DeMarcus Beasley as well to retirement. I think it's time to let someone else take the reins of this job. Jurgen Klinsmann needs to be fired. Because he has no guts walking up and saying, he always says, oh, we'll get better next game. Oh, we'll do something better the next game. When is he ever going to wake up and say, it's not working? It's not working. It is not working. It will probably never happen. And we will probably never get to where we want to be in 4 years' time if we don't start over right now. That is where we need to go. That is where U.S. soccer needs to go. That's where we in general as a soccer country need to go. This is the Tumalip, the podcast you're listening to right now. And the big story, of course, the big topic is the NBA draft that took place just over a month ago before we went off the air. We didn't get to talk about that last month, but we did indeed get to talk. We're going to get to talk about it this month. Antonio Maluyo, one of my good friends, is going to join us today on the pod. AJ Maluyo, of course, big Lakers fan, and he witnessed the drafting of D'Angelo Russell last week. And this is actually, wouldn't you know it, this is the second time in 4 years we have no Canadians drafted in the top 5 of the draft. I mean, 2012 and 2014, we had Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett both go to the Cavaliers. Maybe my years are off a bit. Maybe my years are off. But I know Andrew Wiggins was drafted last year by the Cavs before being traded to the T-Wolves for Kevin Love. But I think in a few years' time, this draft class will probably be right up there with among the best, because you have Terry Rozier, you got R.J. Hunter, Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, you got all this young talent that is untested talent that has come in to the league, and I think within a few years' time, this draft class probably be one of the strongest. You're listening to Tumalip, the podcast here on my YouTube page. 3:25 now my time, so I'm gonna get my guest on here. So while we're doing that, I'll just stall for a bit. Haven't talked to AJ in a long time. Maybe it's been, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years since I've seen him last. I mean, I saw Dylan and his friend up at Genki Sushi just a couple of 3 weeks ago, and I told him that the pod was back, so, I guess things really do come true. So getting back to, I guess we have him on right now. Welcome in, AJ Maluyo. How are you, my friend?
Hey, good. Hey, how's it?
We wanted to have you on for a very long time, and we wanted to get your thoughts on the NBA draft. But first of all, how's university?
It's good. It's going good. Menlo College, California, San Francisco. It's pretty rich in the area that I'm in, and yeah, I love it. Love it out there.
Do you miss St. Francis on a scale of 1 to 10? How much do you miss St. Francis?
Scale of 1 to 10. Oh, um, I would say a 7, 7 or high, like a high 7.
Well, you
High
don't.
7 low.
Well, you don't have to worry because I think 204 is in good hands. We're entering a Generation 3 this year. We have 16, I think, this year.
Yeah, yeah, you guys are the next generation to help guide it to the next level. Good luck.
Anyway, you were a big Lakers fan, so you're kind of disappointed by the season. But before we get, but you know, I was equally impressed by what the Celtics had earlier this season. They got to the playoffs, but the Lakers, frankly, do you think they'll make the playoffs within the next 5 years?
Yeah, we're the Lakers. Hopefully, we will make the playoffs. I feel not this year. Yeah, well, we would have to see what happens this year, and then maybe next year we'll make it. But it'll be like a low 8 seed, 7 seed. That's what I think. But the next, you have to see like what happens to Julius Randle and D'Angelo Russell and Jordan Clarkson, the three, and we'll see where they grow and the potential is there for those three to remain on the Lakers.
But you have to get to Kobe Bryant. I mean, Kobe, well, he's had a number of surgeries in the last few years, and he's slowly falling away with age, because it's unfortunate for him to be falling away at such this point in his career.
Yeah, he is disintegrating before our very eyes, and it's very sad as a Laker fan to see him, because when I was little, I would always see him with strength in his soul to always leave it out on the court, and knowing that he still has that, but his body's not. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very sad to see him go out like this. You know, and hopefully he will come back strong, and hopefully Byron Scott, the coach, limits his minutes, and I feel like he can play for a couple more years, but not to where he was, let's say, 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
Mitch Kupchak, of course, is the GM of the Lakers. Do you think he'll be sticking around for a few more years? Because a lot of people, including my father, who was once a Lakers fan, now he's a Warriors fan. He thinks that he thinks that Kupchak will be gone in probably another 2 years or so.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. I feel as if I think he's not been there for a long time. And, you know, sometimes you have to know when to walk away from it. And I feel like it's getting there. And especially the things that he's been through. His daughter passed away this year. And I feel like that's a lot of burden on his shoulders, and a lot of years with the Lakers that he won't give back to his daughter. Yeah.
We wanted to get your thought, being that it was the NBA draft last month. We wanted to get your thoughts on the NBA draft. But first of all, before we get to D'Angelo Russell, let's get your thoughts on Kristaps Porzingis, because I was watching the video that he was introduced by Commissioner Adam Silver. I mean, you know, like Emmanuel Mudiay, who was drafted. I mean, we really didn't get to see him that much. But do you think the Knicks fans have a right to boo him before he gets drafted?
No, I don't. I feel as if that was very wrong for the Knicks fans to boo him, even though they haven't gotten to see him play. And I feel as if he will be a good player. He might be the best player out of the draft if he sticks to his resume that the Knicks want him to follow. And yeah, I feel as if it was very wrong for the Knicks fans to boo him like that, even though we haven't seen him play.
Now let's get to D'Angelo Russell, because you know, a lot of the so-called experts on ESPN, such as Jalen Rose, you know, all those guys, and Reese Davis, and you know, even Digger Phelps, the former coach, he was picking for Julius Randle to be drafted by the Lakers. Instead, they went with D'Angelo Russell. Now, number one, is that a really good fit for the Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the history of the Lakers, they don't draft centers. I think the only center they drafted was Andrew Bynum. And look where he's at now. He's not as. I really don't think he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Just like how, compared to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was traded to the Lakers by the Bucks, Shaquille O'Neal, who they got from free agency, Dwight Howard, through the trade, and I thought that they did a great move with D'Angelo. Also, it's a guard league, and if you don't, history shows that if you don't have a guard on your team now, then it's going to be hard for you guys to. It's going to be hard to keep up with the competition.
But of course, you know, a lot of the so-called experts that didn't like the pick, did they have a right to? Did they really have a right to question the decision by Mitch Kupchak afterwards? Because a lot of people did.
Yeah. You know, I was very disappointed too. I wanted Jaleel Okafor, but after seeing the recruiting and the highlight tapes on D'Angelo, so I feel very confident in who they chose, and I put my trust in Mitch.
You gotta. I mean, pretty much you have to. I mean, you know, if he makes these kind of picks, which I have a feeling he probably will for the next, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years. I mean, I think the Lakers might be moving in the right direction if it works.
Yeah, I do feel as if they are going to move in the next direction. It's like, yeah, I feel as if they are.
The atmosphere though in the NBA is kind of high hyped because a lot of teams played the summer league this past week, and we just you know, looking at the talent, I don't know really if there's anything to decide the season, because we know there's a lot of grizzled vets that are coming out of a lot of places. But the one big thing I noticed, AJ, and that was Paul Pierce going to the Clippers. I mean, this kid, I mean, the guy grew up a Lakers fan, and now he's playing for the, I don't want to say the kind of the public enemy #1, because I think that's the Celtics, but I want to say public enemy #2, which is the Clippers. I mean, I think in the long run, I don't know if that's a really good move, though.
Yeah, in the long run, I feel as if it's I mean, he was born in LA, Paul Pierce, and he did play for the Celtics for a good amount of his career. So I could see him not playing for the Lakers because of how they lost to them in the finals. But I really don't know if he's gonna have any playing time. If he is a starter, he's gonna. Because Clippers have an up-tempo pace, right? And I don't feel as if
exactly, yeah.
Paul Pierce. I don't feel as if Paul Pierce has the capabilities to keep up with the youngins.
Yeah, there's a lot of young talent. I mean, especially on the Lakers, but you know, I think for some of the, you know, for some of the teams, including the Celtics and the Thunder, who are so used to winning. I mean, the last year for them has kind of been up and down. I mean, especially for, you know, a team like, but we gotta, I'm getting off myself here, but we want to go back to the Knicks because they just had a horrible season they went through, and the Celtics were especially expected to become the lottery picks, but a lot of teams, you know, made it out of there unscathed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and you know, we just a couple of weeks ago we just finished up the NBA Finals between the Cavs and the Warriors, and now it looks like that the Cavs are cleaning house here. They traded on Mike Miller today. You know, Kevin Love also came back too. That's a good thing, but you know, it was good. First of all, what were your thoughts on the Warriors winning the title?
Yeah, they were. I mean, this whole year, especially since I was in the San Francisco area, there's a lot. I've been heavy influenced to know that they all convinced me that the Warriors are going to win the champ. They were going to be the champs this year.
Oh, that's unfortunate because I think I was the only one of the two who picked the Cavaliers to win.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the Cavaliers, if they had Kyrie Irving, then it would have been a different story.
Oh yeah.
Kyrie Irving or Love, it would have been a very different story. But you know, since Kyrie Irving, his kneecap was shattered?
Yeah, I think it was shattered.
Yeah, it was shattered.
And then Love went out with the separated shoulder in the first round, which just was a huge loss.
So your Celtics, of course.
Yes.
think it would have been. I feel like the Cavaliers would have won. If they had those two, and especially Bergeau too. They had Bergeau.
Oh man. What you have to feel the person who's tried the hardest and fallen the farthest is Paul LeBron, who still can't win a title in Cleveland, and I just felt so bad for him walking down the locker room after that, disappointing Game 6 where they just had so much going for them. Here's the big question: will LeBron ever win Cleveland a title before he retires within the next maybe 5 or 6 years?
Man, that's a hard question. I personally don't think so. We would have to see this season. This season might be his last season that he might go to the championship again. He went to the championship. What is it? Five years in a row. The finals. 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
And you can only go to finals for so long. And yeah, props to him though for going to the finals for 5 years straight, 4 years straight. I might be mistaken there. But I don't see him winning. I see him winning one more. But not anything else. Just one more.
Well, it certainly was tough to watch him lose but of course the 2007 finals. I mean, we all expected what we expected. I mean, the Spurs were the clear favorite, and they won that by a large margin. And then the 2011 finals. I mean,
might win it this year again.
Yep, 2011. 2011. Everyone thought the Heat were gonna win, and then all of a sudden the Mavs came out and shocked them in 6 games, and then the Thunder were expected to win the next year, and then Miami, went on that 2-year repeat. But the funny part about it is, AJ, while I was expecting the Celtics to become a lottery pick in 2014, I was picking the Heat to win. But all of a sudden, they just fell apart in the finals. What happened?
I'm not too sure what happened. I feel like LeBron probably took the team. I mean, LeBron is selfish at times.
Oh, yeah.
But at times. And there's other times where he gets his teammates involved. And just like the finals this year, he tried to lead a team that wasn't to his caliber or had the potential to be something greater. He led them to the finals, and his teammates. I thought his teammates need to help him more.
Who would you, if you had a choice, who would you like to see play for the Lakers this season? Who are you most looking forward to?
What I want. Wait, what was the question?
Who are you most looking forward to playing for the Lakers this year, besides Kobe?
Roy Hibbert. I want to see Roy Hibbert play. Hopefully, he can get back to his form from 3 years ago, and be an all-star. I thought this Lakers needed a rim protector, and they found it in Roy Hibbert.
But the problem is, I was watching this on ESPN with Dan Le Batard and Bomani Jones. We're discussing it on, I think it was Friday, when Roy Hibbert's opening press conference. Kobe didn't even reach out to any of the new Lakers. I mean, is that an ominous sign of things to come?
No, I don't. I mean, Kobe Bryant has a family. He's a human being. He has things to do, and I don't know. That's like me saying, did Nick Young reach out to them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see anything wrong with Kobe not reaching out to them.
Was it kind of fair that the analysts were kind of torching him for it afterward?
Yeah. Kobe Bryant is Kobe Bryant. And people always torch Kobe Bryant, just like how they torch LeBron James. But with your all-star caliber like that, with potentially be a Hall of Famer, of course you're gonna have the media attack you.
Well, AJ, it's hopefully you do good in university this year, and it's my senior year, so hopefully I'll come and see you before I go off to my religious mission.
Hopefully, just for this week, right?
Yep.
I might come and visit.
That'd be good to see you, because Dylan was already visited before the end of last year.
Oh, because I know my sister is going to the high school now.
Perfect. Well, we'll probably talking. We'll hopefully talking again soon, and good luck to the Lakers this year.
Yep. Good luck to the Celtics too.
All right, thanks, bud.
All right. See ya.
AJ Maluyo joining us here on the Tumalip, the podcast. A very in-depth discussion of what was going on with the Lakers, and hopefully they do good this year. Once again, they are picked to go into the lottery, I believe, this season. We'll see what the analysts say when that comes out. Well, thank you for AJ joining us, and hopefully for all the 30 teams in the NBA and the NHL, good luck. Coming next month, it's school time, so we'll have someone on from school, hopefully within the next month to join us. It was a very fun week, this very fun podcast, and we'll see you next month, guys. This is Tumalip signing off.